the untold chapter of American history. When people think of the Spanish Conquistadors, they often imagine Hernán Cortés toppling the Aztec Empire or Francisco Pizarro seizing the riches of the Inca. However, Spain's ambitions stretched far beyond Mexico and Peru. For over 3 centuries, Spanish explorers, missionaries, and settlers ventured deep into what is now the United States, leaving a complex legacy that has often been overshadowed by English and French colonial narratives. This is the forgotten story of Spain's North American conquest, a saga of exploration, conflict, and cultural fusion that shaped the landscape of the continent in ways still visible today. The early Spanish explorations, searching for riches. Spain's interest in North America began with Christopher Columbus, but it was Juan Ponce de León who led the first official European expedition to what is now the continental United States. In 1513, he arrived on the shores of Florida, naming it La Florida and claiming it for Spain. Although best known for his mythical search for the Fountain of Youth, Ponce de León's voyage marked the beginning of Spanish attempts to explore and settle the region. Soon after, other explorers followed, including Pánfilo de Narváez in 1528, whose ill-fated expedition ended with a disastrous trek through the Gulf Coast, leaving only a few survivors, including Álvar Núñez Cabeza de Vaca. Cabeza de Vaca's subsequent journey across North America, spanning 8 years and thousands of miles, became one of the most incredible survival stories of the era. His accounts of vast, untapped lands filled with indigenous cultures inspired future Spanish expeditions. Hernando de Soto, a brutal march across the south. One of the most significant yet controversial Spanish explorers in North America was Hernando de Soto. In 1539, he led an ambitious expedition through what is now Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and beyond, in search of gold and glory. De Soto and his men encountered numerous indigenous tribes, often engaging in brutal conflicts, enslaving native peoples, and spreading European diseases that would devastate indigenous populations. De Soto's expedition marked the first European encounter with the Mississippi River in 1541, a landmark discovery in American history. However, his journey ultimately ended in failure. De Soto died in 1542, and his remaining men abandoned their quest, returning to Mexico in disgrace. Despite its failure, his expedition left a profound impact, weakening many native societies and altering the balance of power in the southeastern United States. Francisco Vázquez de Coronado, The Quest for Cibola. While de Soto was exploring the southeast, another Spanish expedition set its sights on the American southwest. Francisco Vázquez de Coronado, lured by tales of the 7 cities of gold, Cibola, embarked on an arduous journey in 1540 across present-day Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. Instead of golden cities, Coronado found only indigenous pueblos. Disappointed but determined, he continued to explore vast regions of North America, becoming one of the first Europeans to witness the grandeur of the Grand Canyon and the Great Plains. Although his expedition failed to uncover riches, it provided Spain with invaluable knowledge of the continent's interior and laid the groundwork for later colonization efforts. The founding of St. Augustine, Spain's lasting presence. Despite these setbacks, Spain remained committed to North America. In 1565, the Spanish established St. Augustine in Florida, the first permanent European settlement in what would become the United States. Led by Pedro Menéndez de Avilés, the colony served as a strategic outpost against French and English encroachments. St. Augustine became a hub of Spanish influence, featuring military fortifications, churches, and a blend of European and Native American cultures. Unlike English colonies, which relied heavily on agricultural settlements, Spain's North American empire focused on missionary work, trade, and military defense. The Spanish sought to convert indigenous peoples to Christianity through missions, leading to the creation of a vast network of churches and religious communities throughout the Southwest and Florida. Spanish missions and settlements in the Southwest. While the British and French expanded along the eastern seaboard, Spain pushed its influence westward. In 1598, Juan de Oñate led settlers into present-day New Mexico, founding the first Spanish settlement in the region, San Juan de los Caballeros. Oñate's brutal suppression of native uprisings, including the infamous Acoma massacre, remains one of the darkest chapters of Spanish colonization. Throughout the 17th and 18th centuries, Spain established a network of missions and presidios, forts, in Texas, California, and Arizona. The most famous of these missions, including those in San Antonio and along the California coast, played a crucial role in spreading Spanish culture and religion. Missionaries like Junipero Serra helped lay the foundations for cities such as San Diego, San Francisco, and Los Angeles. Spain's struggles and the loss of North America. Despite Spain's extensive North American empire, the Spanish faced constant challenges. Indigenous resistance, harsh environments, and competition from European rivals limited their ability to fully control the continent. The Pueblo Revolt of 1680 in New Mexico, led by Native American leader Popé, temporarily expelled the Spanish from the region, demonstrating the persistent resistance of indigenous communities. By the late 18th century, Spain's grip on North America weakened. The Treaty of Paris in 1763, which ended the 7 Years' War, forced Spain to cede Florida to Britain. Although Spain briefly regained Florida in 1783, the growing power of the United States and continued pressures from European conflicts forced Spain to relinquish its North American holdings. In 1821, with the independence of Mexico, Spanish rule in North America officially came to an end. The Spanish legacy in North America. Though often overlooked, the Spanish conquest of North America left an enduring legacy. Spanish influence can still be seen in the architecture, language, and culture of many southwestern and southeastern states. Cities such as Los Angeles, San Antonio, and Santa Fe retain their Spanish roots, and many indigenous and mestizo communities trace their heritage to this complex era of conquest and adaptation. Moreover, Spain's early expeditions provided invaluable knowledge about the land, peoples, and resources of North America. The Spanish legacy of missions, ranching traditions, and even legal systems continued to shape the region long after their rule had ended. A forgotten but crucial chapter. The story of Spanish conquerors in North America is one of ambition, resilience, brutality, and cultural exchange. While their conquests may not have yielded the vast treasures found in Mexico or Peru, they laid the foundations for some of the most vibrant and historically rich regions in the United States today. By remembering and acknowledging Spain's role in North American history, we gain a fuller, more nuanced understanding of the continent's past and the forces that shaped its present. From the swamps of Florida to the deserts of the Southwest, the footprints of Spanish explorers remain, whispering tales of an empire that once dreamed of ruling an entire continent. The forgotten story of Spain's North American conquests deserves recognition, not just as a footnote in history, but as an essential chapter in the making of the modern Americas.